I'm having a little bearing clearance issue. The bearings torqued into the block, and I've measured it, and my clearance is pretty tight. It's just under 1/1000th of clearance, and I want like 2.5 to 3/1000ths would be pretty good. So I could take, I've got different bearing sizes, I could take and torque each bearing into the main cap, and then measure each one, or measure the thickness of each bearing to get me closer before I put it back in the block. So that way I'm not wasting a ton of time. We have, right now we have 1/1000th clearance. Clearance. You've got to have a micrometer that has a ball. So you've got to have this little ball attachment on here. And then you zero it off of where that ball is. Hold. Okay, that's our 0. So I have the original bearing that came out of this engine. Its thickness is 0.0951. Okay, so I did all the math here, and now I'm going to explain it a little bit to make a little more sense. We've measured our upper and our lower bearing. So this is upper goes in the block, the lower goes in the cap. So uppers, this is our coated cleveite. This is our ACL HX bearing. So this is a standard extra clearance bearing anyway. This is a standard sized bearing. This is a standard non-coated bearing. Based on our measurements, what we can do is we can take, this is the only one we measured so far in the block. So we know that this measurement gave us 1/1000th clearance. So what we do is we take our difference. 0.1912 minus 0.1901 gives us a difference of 0.0011. So then if we take our difference here, 0.1912 minus 0.1896, that gives us 0.0016, okay? So this is our difference measurement. So we take our difference plus our original measurement of 1/1000th bearing clearance, plus that should give us a new bearing clearance of 0.0026. So just a little over 2.5 with that bearing, and just a little over 2/1000 with that bearing. So originally it had just a little over 2/1000 bearing clearance mathematically, okay? But the reason I did this is because now I can, instead of going, okay, I'm going to measure this bearing, and then if I had a standard bearing on the shelf, which I do, I could say, okay, I'm going to measure that bearing. Now I have a standard X, and I'm going to measure that bearing, and sit there and do all this stuff. I can do a little bit of math and not just put bearings in the block the whole time just to do it. So now we have to go confirm it on the block. Just a little bit past 2.5. So right at what our math mathed. If your math ain't mathing like that, then you're not mathing right. Bearing clearance, dead on.